and inside this variable we have host path. So let's explore host path. What is host path? Again, we have the same thing here. In the host path, it is not empty. It must be created only on the hard disk. However, EmptyDir volume can be created on either RAM or hard disk. Another difference between both are in EmptyDir, Kubernetes will create a directory on the node first and then create the pod. On the other hand, in the host path, we have to manually create the directory on the node first, then we create the pod. This is the file of our pod, simple. In the spec section, we have container and the indentation is same, name and images. And when we add the volume, and here you notice this, I have changed the name from 1 to 2. In the spec section, we added a new volume section as we did for EmptyDir. In this time, under volume, we just mentioned the name and then host path. Earlier, we mentioned EmptyDir. In the host path, we will define the path, which directory we are going to share here, and then type directory or create. There are a different type of method. Let me explain you here. If we mention type equal to directory, in this mode, a directory must exist in the specified path. If we mention type equal to directory or create, if no directory found on this specified path, an empty directory will be created on demand. The permission will be set to 0755. The directory has same group and ownership with kubelet. If we mention type equal to file, in this mode, a file must exist in the specified path. File or create, if no file found on the specified path, an empty file will be created on demand. Permission on the created file is set to 0644. The file has the same group and ownership with kubelet. So there are different type of, so you must be aware about this thing. In this scenario, what we are going to do here, we are just going to share this directory inside this container. So obviously we have to write more thing in the container so that my container can understand in which directory I need to access. For that reason, we have to add some parameter of volume in the container section. Same as it is what we did in the EmptyDir volume. Volume mounts. Inside this, we mentioned the mount path. In the container, we will observe /vol1 directory, which is bound with this volume. Container will get this volume name from the name parameter. And the name should be same as I mentioned previously. And the indentation is this. In order to complete the host path lab, we need to click on this host path directory and then click on hosts lab host path. In this YAML file, first we are going to create a kind namespace and the name of this namespace is core and the pod name is host path pod 2. It is created inside this core namespace, and if we scroll down, we will see the volume section. Inside this volume section, we have mentioned that the name is vol1 host path and the host path directory is here, home NFS shared data. If this directory is not created, it will create because we use this option type equal to directory or create. And inside this container, we are using nginx image and the name of this container would be host path container 2 and the volume mount is /vol1. It means that inside this container, we will observe one new directory called /vol1, and whenever we are creating any files or directory inside this directory, it is actually written inside this directory. It may be worker node 1 or worker node 2. Let's, when we create the pod, we will see. Okay, so let me copy this YAML file, paste it here. Create pod through YAML file. It is created now. We can check on which worker node it is created. So we can use -o From here, it is created on worker node 2 and it is running currently. Let me log in inside this pod and then execute df space -h. As I stated earlier, I can see vol1 directory is there. Let me go inside this directory, ls space ltr, nothing is there. So let me create one new file inside this directory and see if it is present in worker node 2 or not. Why it should be present on worker node 2? Because this pod is created inside this worker node 2. So here I'm logging into my worker node 2. Let me check if this file is direct created, and if I share, yes, it is there. I can also check this file, yes. And let me add one thing. I can see, yes, add from worker node 2. Let me go to this container and check if this file is updated or not. Let me clear the window here, and yes, I can see the file is also updated from worker node 2. This is what we are doing here. Now delete this pod and check if this file is exists or not. In the EmptyDir case, directory was removed, right? And exit from this pod here and delete this pod. Does not exist. Okay. kubectl delete minus f and host path. So name is having issue, so I will change it. Okay, so let me execute kubectl minus n core. Core 1 is also deleted. Core is also deleted namespace. So I should not see this pod any chance. So let me log in into worker node 2 and check if this file is available or not. As you can see that this file is still here. So this is the benefit of using host path. But the drawback of this is if this node goes down, then you will lose all the data. For that reason, Kubernetes proposed a new solution called static binding or dynamic volume mount.